it's me, Lisa. It's Monday, June 2nd, 2014. It's a beautiful day today, and I'm filming here outside on my deck. I actually wasn't going to do a video this week because I don't really have a lot to show, but I also am not sure how much I'll be able to do video in maybe a while. Some of you may know, just because I've been talking a little bit about it on some of the social media out there. We are getting ready to move. We're sort of downsizing from our house into an RV, and we're heading out to South Dakota to work at Mount Rushmore for the summer. Kind of exciting. And I am sort of keeping a blog, and I'll put a link down below if anybody's interested. I did do a little post about that. So we're trying to get ready for that. It's a little crazy. And it's been, it's busy and hectic, and so I haven't had a lot of chance to finish stuff. So I don't have a lot of finished objects, a few works in progress, but I thought I better just do this week because, like I said, I'm not sure. We're hoping to get out of here by next week, Monday maybe. That's our plan. Keep your fingers crossed. But we had a crazy weekend. We did a yard sale, and of course the house is just a big mess because we're trying to pack and sort things and get rid of stuff. And our realtor called Saturday morning and said, "Can you have the house ready? And we want to have, we have somebody who wants to come look at it on Sunday." And we're like, "Sure, no problem." Of course, because I'm not going to turn them down. But it was, oh my gosh, the house was such a mess. But we buckled down and we pulled together, and we got the house, pretty good shape. It didn't look too bad in the midst of the yard sale, which we did okay. That was kind of better than we thought. And we were ready Sunday, and it's kind of weird. You have to leave the house for an hour. And, you go out and you come back in, and people have been in your house, but guess, it doesn't really look like it. It's kind of an odd feeling. But anyway, so we made it through. Haven't heard anything back, but we'll see. Maybe we'll keep, like I said, keep your fingers crossed. So I'm going to get right to it. So my two finished objects this week happen to be crochet, because I try to do both. I do more knitting, and I have knitted for longer. But I like crochet too. I just do simple stuff mostly. So this is my chain scarf. It's an OVW chain scarf, if any of you are familiar with that pattern and that tutorial. It's great. She's wonderful. This is an old yarn. I'm trying to use up my stash. This is Bernat. I think it's called Black Lights. I don't know the colorway. I don't have a label. It was just scrap yarn in my stash. I'm trying not to take any scrap yarn, which sort of kills me, but I have limited space, and so I'm also trying to use up some of the not full skeins that I have. Yeah, because obviously, as I said, I have limited space. But I'll have you know that the first thing I did when we started packing for this trip and for this new life was my yarn. I said I have to figure out where my yarn's going before anything else, so that I could kind of be like, okay, I got my yarn, anything else, I'm good. I didn't even figure out where my clothes were going to go. So that's me. So we know it's important. That's my priority. Okay, my second finished object is a cowl. I sort of made up the pattern. I had some leftover Hometown from Lion Brand, and not a lot. And I said, what can I do with this? And it's pretty and it's soft. And they said, well, maybe I'll make a cowl. So I made it up. I just chained about a little over 100 stitches in a chain, and then I did a treble crochet, double crochet, treble crochet. It's a little thin. I'm not sure I like it. It's kind of a weird shape because the chain was tight. The chain row kind of made the one end tight, so it sort of swoops. It's got like a curve in it, and I'm not sure I like it. I tried putting it on. I still have to weave the ends in, obviously, and I can't really figure it out. It's okay just hanging. I don't know, you can't really see it, but I haven't figured out if I like it. So it may go in the gift box. I'll see. I don't know. So that's my cowl. I really am not a cowl person. I haven't really made a lot. I've made one other cowl, and that was knit. And I didn't like that one either when it was done, but it was a shorter one, and it kind of came up to here. It was a pretty pattern, but I didn't like it. But then lately I've just seen some patterns. I get addicted to looking for patterns and finding patterns, and I found some pretty ones, and maybe I'll try some more. So maybe that'll be coming up in the future. So that's my cowl. So now that's my finished objects. Now on to works in progress. So I'm still working on the baby blanket. I have a little bit of progress on a couple of things that I worked on this week that you saw already, but I'll show them. So this is the baby blanket for Sissy Knitting from Kim. Hi, Kim. So I'll show you how I've gotten a little bit of it done. It's growing, and I'm probably going to start the decreases pretty soon because it's one of those, it's that everyday washcloth or Granny's favorite washcloth pattern that I sort of use, and you increase and then to a certain point, and then you start decreasing, and I'm getting kind of to the point where I need to be done with this. I think if I do another blanket, I'm going to do chunkier yarn and bigger needles, and hopefully it'll go faster because this is just taking a little bit too long. And I do have a lot of mindless knitting projects on the needles right now, which I needed because I don't, I just need something I could pick up quick and just spend a few minutes with, but I have too many now, and I'm getting a little bored, and so I kind of want to move on. So that's that. Oh, and I was going to show you, it's in my Ravelry bag. I don't have a lot of project bags, fancy ones. I actually, like this one here, is just something I picked up at the dollar store, and it works great, and but I do have this one, which I got from Ravelry years back, and I actually looked at the date. It says right on it 2012. It's when they started, 2007. I'm not sure when the bag came out, but anyway, it's cute. I like it. It was one that they had a thing where they asked designers to design a bag, and then they picked one. So this is the one that got picked, and then they had it in their store, and I bought it. That was about quite a few years ago. So that's my project bag for that. Okay, the other thing that I'm still working on are the socks for my husband, and I did get a little bit of done. I was hoping to have the whole sock done, but no, that didn't happen. So I'm past it's an afterthought heel sock, vanilla. So that purple row right there, that's where the heel will go. That's the waist yarn you put in for the heel. And I have it, my husband's got a pretty big foot. I think he wears a size 11, so you're supposed to do from the heel to when you start to when you finish, you subtract 4 inches, so the length of the foot. His foot is about 10 inches, so I have to do 6 inches before I start the toe decrease. So I have a few more inches to do that. So that's that, and that's in the Serenity sock weight, the Debbie Norville in the Obsidian colorway. And I like it. I'm having it. This is a nice knit. It's very, relaxing. But I probably am not going to have it done by Father's Day. So it may go into the, one gets wrapped up and the other one will be coming kind of gift. I've done that before. And the last thing that I have is something new that I casted on. I'm on the Yarn Addiction Facebook group, Yarn Addiction K&M, I think it's called. And we're going to be doing a knit along for the Hitchhiker in July. Some of us were getting a little antsy and wanting to start it, and so instead of just starting it, we decided to pick something similar and just as an impromptu. And so we started this impromptu knit along a few days ago, and it's the Linus shawl. And I'll pull it up. I have it on my Kindle. Hopefully, I'll show you. It's really fun. It's cute. I'll show you mine and how far I've gotten. So this is how far I've gotten on mine. There's the point at the beginning. And then up here to the top so far. So I wasn't really liking it. I should say that. I didn't like it at the beginning, and it's not I didn't like the colors, how they were coming out, the yarn. They were a little stripy at the beginning, which I liked, and then it started pooling in the middle, and I didn't really like that pooling too much. And then as it grew, I realized, that the striping's coming back, and I'm liking it again better, so I'm going to give it a chance. I was actually going to frog it and try a different yarn, but I decided to stick with it. Some encouragement from some people on the group, Jennifer, hi there, to keep going and check it out. So that's that, and I'm doing that again with Debbie Norville sock yarn, which I actually really like this yarn, and I like the way it feels. It's pretty nice and soft. So, and that is in the, this is going to be hard to see, it's the Picasso Marble colorway. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Well, anyway, I'm not even sure I like the colorway. It's a kind of a orange and green and grays, but I do like the pattern. It's a really fun knit. It's a good mindless one because it is pretty simple. It's garter stitch, but it's a 2-pattern repeat. It's very easy to memorize, and it's got a little bit of enough of an interest so that even though it's pretty mindless, you know, it keeps you interested, and especially when you're doing like a striped yarn, you kind of like want to see what the colors are gonna do, so it keeps you kind of interested. And so I did do a lot more of that. I sort of was concentrating on this a lot more. So that's the Linus shawl. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you is a few things, tools that I got, and actually one of them is on the shawl, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The first thing, I'm hoping I'm not going to crinkle this again. I know last week that was terrible. Okay, so I needed cable needles because the one I had I lost, and I never really liked it. It was the kind that was sort of had the little U shape in the middle, and I like to do some cabling. I want to do some more cabling, so I saw these on a tutorial. I can't remember which one, and these are from Clover. I'm going to try to be quiet about that. It comes with 3 different sizes, and it's like a J shape. And I've never used these. It looked like, and the way I saw the demonstration of them, I liked the way it looked, so I thought I would try them, and I'll let you know how I like them. If any of you have any experience with these or have used these, let me know. Give me, tell me how you like them. So that was one thing I got. Then the other thing, I'm really in the market for some interchangeable needles, circulars, knitting needles. I have a lot of fixed ones. I don't have an interchangeable set, and I have a variety of price ranges. I just kept getting more in different ones and sizes, and I might show that at some point because how I keep them, and maybe go over some of the ones that I have. But I really want an interchangeable set, and I know Dana from Essence of Me, she did a video, and we were commenting, we're sort of talking back and forth about that, and what needles she has a couple of sets. I know she likes the Denise, but anyway, so I ordered this. This is the Combi set from Knitter's Pride. Combi 2. There's the Combi 1. This is Combi 2, and it has 3 different needles. One of them is the one that I'm using on my Linus shawl, and it's a size 4, 3.5 millimeter, and it's the bamboo, which is nice. It's actually really nice. I like it. It's smooth. I don't have size 4 in a wood or bamboo. I have other kinds, but not wood in this size. And it comes in a 32-inch and a 24-inch cable. And it's flexible, but not too much memory. So they're good because I really like to do magic loop. So these seem like they'll work pretty well for that. And then the other 2 that it comes with these are the Carbonz, K-A-R-B-O-N-Z, and they're in the 2.5 or 3.0 millimeter. And these are the Nova Cubics, and I'm going to take those out to show you because they're a little different. These are the ones that are square, even though they still have the point, but the shaft of the needle is actually square, and this is a size 6, a 4.0 millimeter. Can you see that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you can see with the actual fact that they're square. I haven't tried these. Don't know how they work. I will. I was going to do some swatches, but I haven't had a chance. When I do, I'll let you know. See what if I like them. If any of you have any experience with these needles, please let me know. Comment down below. I'd love to hear what your experience has been with these, or if you have any other suggestions or other needles that you like. I would love to hear that because I really want to get one. But if you have any or you are looking, they're pretty expensive, or they can be. There's a wide variety of prices too. And I want to make sure that the set I get I really like, because I don't, it's an investment. So I'd love to hear any of your experiences. So that's really it for this week. I'm not sure that I'll have another one up in a week. I'm not sure where we'll be or what will be happening. We may be on the road and traveling by then. So I might be blogging. I'll probably be doing some on my blog, which I may stick to that for my traveling and stuff. I haven't decided. I might want to do a video here, maybe combine the 2 here. I'm not sure. I'll see. I don't know. If any of you have any interest or want to let me know, please feel free to let me know if you think you're interested. I want to say hi to my subscribers. Thanks for coming back. If you're coming back, thanks if you're new. And if you're interested, subscribe, like, comment down below. And I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.